అందరికీ నమస్కారములు. నమో నమః. సర్వేభ్యో నమస్కారः. Today is a good day that we are going to start a series of lectures on Yoga Shastram by Dr. CSR Prabhu garu, Yoga Sutras. Now, I will introduce him. He doesn't need any introduction, but nevertheless, for the people who are new to this group, I'll introduce him after Vande Mataram and then Prarthana. Okay, let us request Prakash Garu to recite Vande Mataram, please.
పెద్దలు సభ్యులందరికీ నమస్కారం అండి. శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః. ఓం శ్రీ మహాగణాధిపతియే నమః. వందే మాతరం వందే మాతరం సుజలాం సుఫలాం మలయజ శీతలాం సస్యశ్యామలాం మాతరం వందే మాతరం సుప్రజ్యోత్స్నా పులకితయామినీం పుల్లకుసుమితద్రుమదళశోభినీం సుహాసినీం సుమధురభాషిణీం సుఖదాం వరదాం మాతరం వందే మాతరం వందే మాతరం. సర్వేభ్యః నమస్కారः, ధన్యవాదः.
వందే మాతరం. ధన్యవాదములండి ప్రకాష్ గారు.
ధన్యవాదాలు సార్. నమస్తే. వందే మాతరం.
Yeah. Let us now request Govindaraj Garu to chant Prarthana, please.
Sarvebhyo namaskaraha. Let us start with brief meditation. Gently close your eyes. Sit with your back straight and focus on your breath. Let us now chant Om 3 times. Om Gananam Tva Ganapatigun Havamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anashunvannutibhis Sidasadanam. Om Shri Mahaganadhipataye Namaha. Om Prano Devi Saraswati Vajebhirvajinivati Dhinamavitriyavatu. Om Shri Mahasaraswatyai Namaha. Gurureva Gati Gurumeva Bhaje Gurunaiva Sahasmi Namo Gurave. Na Guruh Paramam Shishurasmi Guruh Matirasti Gurau Mam Pahi Guruh. Jnananandamayam Devam Nirmalasphटिकाकृतिम् Adharam Sarva Vidyanam Hayagrivam Upasmahe श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः मातृदेवो भव पितृदेवो भव आचार्यदेवो भव अतिथिदेवो भव ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम्
ధన్యవాదములండి గోవిందరాజు గారు. Thank you so much. Now, I will briefly introduce CSR Prabhu garu. Professor Dr. CSR Prabhu garu is an eminent scientist and he held prestigious positions in the government and also in professional bodies. He was a scientist G in G, Director General of National Informatics Center, NIC, Government of India at New Delhi, and headed Computer Society of India, Hyderabad chapter, and presently the chairman of ACM, Hyderabad Deccan chapter. He authored 16 books, of which 12 are in cutting-edge technologies like fog computing, big data analytics, etc. He founded and heads Vishwa Yoga Vidyapit and extensively taught yoga globally. He conducted research both in computer science and Sanskrit texts and authored research level books in all the above areas. He developed Dharma Yoga as a common framework for all religions and science. This is a brief, very brief introduction. With this brief introduction, let us welcome. Namaskaram andi Prabhu garu.
Namaskaram. Namaskaram.
We welcome you for this webinar of 4 sessions. This is the first session. So we request you to start the session, please.
Okay. Thank you. Good evening to all of you. So this is a series, it's a sort of a course. So in the next 4 sessions from today onwards, you will be getting a grasp of the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. So before we start the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, I would like to make a few comments regarding the position in which the Patanjali Yoga Sutras exist. In terms of historical sequence, among all the avatars of Lord Vishnu, Kapila Muni was the first avatara, one of the first early avatars, and Kapila Muni made the Sankhya Sutras, which are the core aphorisms about Sankhya Darshana first. Then after that, in the sequence, we have Yoga Sutras by Patanjali Maharshi, who is much later in terms of the sequence after Kapila Muni. And he was extending Kapila Muni's Sankhya Darshana, Sankhya Sutras into 2-3 different new directions. One is bringing Ishvara into picture. There was no Ishvara in Sankhya. That way, it was known as Nirishvara Sankhya. And another thing he did was to make it totally practical. Most of the darshanas are not practical, they are theoretical. Like Sankhya is theory, a framework of explaining the universe in terms of the experience, activities that happen in the universe, how we can explain. And similarly, Nyaya Darshana is a logical system, and Vaiseshika was a physics system. And we have Mimamsa, which is Karmakanda, or the Yajna process and other things being justified or corroborated. And then Vedanta Darshana, Vedanta Sutras of Badarayana or Brahma Sutras are again a theoretical framework. So the Mimamsa and the Yoga are totally practical, and Vaiseshika is also practical because it is physics. So in the Mimamsa, the Karmakanda has been justified as the only way to uphold Dharma, Bodhana Lakshana Dharma, and Jaimini Muni, who is the disciple of Vyasa, gave the Mimamsa Darshana Sutras, Mimamsa Sutras. But if you carefully examine, Mimamsa and Vedanta go together because it is called Uttara Mimamsa. Vedanta is called Uttara Mimamsa next to the Karmakanda based Mimamsa of Jaimini. So the Vedanta Sutras are known as Brahma Sutras, and they are ascribed to Badarayana, who is identified as Vedavyasa himself. So you can see Jaimini was disciple of Vedavyasa. Vedavyasa edited the unlimited, unedited Vedic lore into 4 parts, which we use other Sama and Atharvana, and transmitted to his 4 disciples, Aila, Vaishampayana, Jaimini, and Sumanta, respectively. So Jaimini was given the Samaveda, and he wrote the Mimamsa Sutra. So you can find out from this fact that both are contemporary. That is, Vyasa and Jaimini were contemporary. If we go back to earlier to Nyaya and Vaiseshika, Nyaya belongs to Gautama, who is also very ancient. And we have Kanada of Vaiseshika, who is next to Gautama much later. We don't know exact periods, but the sequence. So when it comes to Yoga Sutras, they are standing next to Sankhya Sutras. But before the Brahma Sutras, before the Nyaya Sutras, and before the Vaiseshika Sutras, in that sense. So one important point to be noted is the Sutras, the Sutrakaras are not inventing new subjects. The subject is already there, and they are only writing a framework of sutras to explain that subject. That subject in this case is yoga. We hear the name of Patanjali in 2 contexts. One is in the context of yoga, and other is in the context of Vyakarana. Patanjali Mahabhashyam for Panini's Ashtaljayi is very famous. So you cannot say both are same Patanjalis, because the Mahabhashya Patanjali is later to Panini. Panini is usually dated around 7th century BC at Takshashila University. He was a professor. And you cannot say Vyasa is 7th century BC. So even the Vedanta Sutras or Mimamsa Sutras are Mahabharata period. Coterminous is Mahabharata period, which is around 3102 BC. Some people are giving it the 6th BC. So this Patanjali of Yoga Sutras is far before the Patanjali of Mahabhashya of Ashtaljayi. So it must be a different Patanjali is what we presume. And another interesting fact is the Patanjali Yoga Sutras have a Bhashya by Vyasa, Vyasa Bhashya. That is the most famous. And if we say that it is not the same Vyasa, then another Vyasa we have to accept. Or if we say it is the same Vyasa, he is obviously after Patanjali, because the Bhashya is written after the sutras, much of it. So we have to go to the conclusion that Patanjali of the Yoga Sutras is different, is earlier to Vyasa, earlier to Panini, and earlier to the Patanjali of Mahabhashya to Panini's texture. So this Patanjali is later to Kapila Muni, who is very ancient. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, the list of 25 avatars of Vishnu, in which Kapila Muni is also there, one of the early avatars. So now, apart from the normal Dashavatas, Matsya, Kurva, Varaha, Narasimha, Vamana, Rama, Ramasya, Krishna, Buddha, Kalki, apart from these Dashavatas, we have actually 24 avatars which are described in the Srimad Bhagavata Purana very clearly, in which Kapila Muni comes later to Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Vamana, etc., but before many others. Now, Kapila Muni gave the Sankhya Sutras. Let us examine the Sankhya Darshana before we start the Yoga Darshana or Yoga Sutras. So basically, it's a common sense observation that I am existing, I am man, Purusha, and there is nature, that is universe, that is Prakriti. Purusha and Prakriti, man and nature, they exist. So what Kapila Muni did is to elaborate on the nature of dukkha's and nature of moksha. By the way, I think you all know all 6 darshanas, which are Astika darshanas, that is Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Mimamsa, Vedanta. They are Astika darshanas. And what is their objective? Their objective is to achieve moksha. Moksha from what? Moksha from dukkha. And from where dukkha is coming? Dukkha is coming from Prakriti. And how many types of dukkha are there? Three types of dukkha. Trividha dukkha, nivrittiya, atyanta purusha. That is the first sutra of Sankhya Sutra. Trividha dukkha, nivrittiya, atyanta purusha. The highest human achievement, human effort, purusha, is nothing but attempting to, or preventing, or overcoming. It is 3 types of sorrow. What are the 3 types of sorrow? Dukkha, Adibhautika, Adidevika, and Ati. So everyone is suffering miseries. I'm sure you are suffering, I am suffering. Even the most powerful man, let us say Narendra Modi or Putin or Biden or anybody, they are suffering tremendous amount of miseries. Those miseries are categorized into 3 categories: Adibhautika, Adidevika, and Ati. So Adibhautika is physical suffering, that is health, disease, discomfort, or financial related, or any other physical sorrow and misery, dukkha. And Adidevika is natural dukkha, that is heat, cold, earthquake, cyclone, and so on. So then the third is Adhyatmic dukkha, which is inside yourself. It could be emotional, it could be mental, or it could be any of the usual causes of dukkha's. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, or Ahankara, Munkara, Raga, Dvesha. So these are there. You have to say, you cannot say they are not there. So they are there and they will cause dukkha. So Triveda Dukkha Nivritti Atyanta Purusha. Highest human effort, obviously, it's common sense that we all are trying. What are we doing in our whole life? In our whole life, we are trying to overcome these 3 kinds of miseries or problems. Basically, modern word is problems. We have 3 types of problems. We are trying to overcome or remedy or prevent or preempt these 3 types of problems. So that is the Purushartha, Atyanta Purusha. Vividha Dukkha Nivritti Atyanta. Highest human achievement is to overcome this. So this is a simple definition of moksha in terms of freedom, liberation from dukkha. But then there is a bigger dimension of moksha. That is, even though you may be overcoming dukkhas in this life, if you are born again, you will get another life. You don't know where you will be born, under what circumstances you will be born. And you will be facing a series of dukkhas there also. So what do you do about it? So better to be not to be born again. Now, we had enough of this birth, this life. We don't want to be born again. That is Punaravritti Rahita, Shashvata Brahmaloke, Nitya Nivasa Praptirastu. This is the wish, sankalpa, or desire made for all the dead souls by their descendants in their Shraddha karmas. They will all chant this. Punaravritti Rahita, Shashvata Brahmaloke, Nitya Nivasa Praptirastu. I chanted this for my mother all the time. Every year, every time I did a Shraddha, I was doing this. So basically, not to come back, but by force, by chance, the birth happens again. Again, the whole story will start. So the same dukkhas will be there, and again, same moksha will be required. So while being alive, if you can be liberated, that is Jivan Mukti. Satsangatve, Nisangatvam. Now this, our Vishwa Yoga Vidyapith and Veda Samskruti Samiti are jointly organizing all these sessions, which are nothing but satsang. Satsangatve, Nisangatvam. If you can develop detachment, Nisangatve, Nirmohatvam. If you can be undiluted due to detachment, Nirmohatve, Nischalatatvam. If you can reach a steady steadfastness, a steady state of mind, a steady state of life, free from attachment and arrogance and other things, Nischalatatve Jivan Mukti. You can be reaching Jivan Mukti. So Satsanga is having that much power. It can result in Jivan Mukti. In fact, even in the story of Narada, Narada was born to a servant woman who was serving various pilgrims on the way to Himalayas in one of the inns or chowdhuries. So he was hearing to various discourses in those chowdhuries when Atmas were coming, they were giving discourses. So he heard and heard and heard, and finally he became highly devoted, and he started doing tapasya after his mother died out of serpent form. Then in tapasya he had the darshan of Lord Vishnu, and then higher level he got to Brahmarshi level. So satsanga has got so much power. And in the case of Prahlada also, Narada was simply telling the pregnant lady stories, and Prahlada was missing inside the womb. So satsangatve nisangatvam, nisangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischalatatvam, or nischala chittam tambhu. Nischalatatve jivan. So while being alive, you can be liberated if you can reach that nischalatatvam. That is before that nirmohatvam, before that satsang, nisangatvam, and before that satsang. So what Kapila told in the Sankhya Sutras is, he gave a long process, and finally he says, Asangoyam Purusha. Last sentence is, this Purusha, that is man, is actually not attached, because the dukkha is samsara, bandha, dukkha is coming due to the Purusha identifying himself with Prakriti. So Prakriti Purusha Samyoga is this samsara. So because the Purusha is assuming his Prakriti, he is experiencing all miseries. The moment he realizes he is not Prakriti, he is independent, then he is already liberated from the dukkhas of Prakriti. Because Prakriti is everything. That is in the Gita also it's clearly mentioned. Purusha Prakritim Chaiva, Purusham Prakritim Chaiva Vidya Anadi Ubhavati, Vikaranscha Gunanscha Vidya Prakriti Sambhava, Karya Karana Kartrutve Hetu Prakriti Vichate, Purusha Sukadukhanam Bhoktrutve. So Purusha is only an enjoyer, feeler, thinker, perceiver, consciousness. But everything else, Prakriti, Karya, Karana, Kartrutva, Gunas, everything that happens in Prakriti. So because you think you are Prakriti, you think you are the doer, you are the enjoyer, you are the owner of the action, Karya, Karana, Kartrutva. Because you are assuming all those assumptions, you are suffering. The moment you get disconnected, the moment you get detached from Prakriti, Asangoyam Purusha, the realization that I am not Prakriti, I am not involved with Prakriti Paraha, Aho Niranjana Shanto, Prakriti Paraha, Etavantamaham Kalam, Moheneva Vidambita, Janaka says in a short Santa. Oh, what a wonder, I was cheated all these days. I am beyond Prakriti. I am Purusha. So Sankhya Darshana ends with the statement of Asangoyam Purusha. after a long discussion of many chapters of Sutras. I'm not going to teach Sankhya Sutras today. And there is no mention of any Ishvara, God, anything like that. There is no mention of any pranayama or dhyana or anything. But there is a process of getting to transcend Prakriti, go beyond Prakriti, and reach your own true nature, which is Purusha. So this framework is the fundamental basis for Yoga Darshana, Yoga Sutras. But Yoga Sutras went far ahead. They gave the practical orientation to Sankhya philosophy, but not only gave practical orientation, but also gave extension to Sankhya philosophy by adding the notion of Ishvara. Of course, in the Vedanta Darshana, we have Brahman. So Ishvara, Brahman, Purusha, all these different names are there. Bhagavan. There are differences in the meaning of all these names. We will be covering sometimes as and when it is called for. So, by the time of Patanjali, in the whole world, there was extensive yoga activity in terms of people practicing various forms of yoga, various techniques and procedures and processes. So he only summarized the existing system of yoga in his sutras. He is not an inventor of yoga system. One day Ramdev told, everybody is thinking that I invented yoga, not I, Ramdev. Then Ramdev is telling those people, no, I didn't invent yoga. It is Patanjali who invented. It is as much wrong statement as saying that I invented. Patanjali also didn't invent. He never said he invented it. It is already there. He has summarized the processes, procedures, framework, theoretical understanding as well as practical procedures, etc. in the very systematic framework called Yoga Sutras. It became Yoga Darshana later by the addition of many other yogic texts. Darshana is a large framework of many texts, and the sutras of Patanjali become the core defining text of Yoga Darshana. So it is not the only text of yoga. There are a large number of texts. And coming to the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, as we said, the Vyasa Bhashya is very famous. Everybody refers to Vyasa Bhashya in one form or the other. And all books on Patanjali Yoga Sutras are repeating Vyasa Bhashya in a simplified manner. And it is very extensive. We cannot go through the Vyasa Bhashya in these 4 days. But the Patanjali Yoga Sutras will directly deal with certain references, and I'll show you what all the books I'm using. You can also see. The first and foremost book which I have studied is Swami Vivekananda's Raja Yoga. So Raja Yoga by Swami Vivekananda has more than half only Patanjali Yoga Sutras. You can start here, Atha Yoga and Shastra, on page 148 up to the end, more or less. So he very briefly and very fast covered all the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. And of course, another book in Ramakrishna, Patanjali Yoga Sutras by Swami Prabhu. You go to Ramakrishna Math, you will see all these books. I just went there yesterday also. And more importantly, the Patanjali Yoga Darshan by Gita Press by Swami Omananda is very famous. It is in Hindi. I will be using these books, and whatever I know, I will be telling. Let me be very candid with you that I don't know, nor I claim any authority on this subject. Whatever little I think I know, or whatever little I have understood, I will try to share with you. But that doesn't mean it is ultimate or complete or exhaustive or final. You have to make your own studies. It's a vast subject, and there are many interpretations to Patanjali Yoga Sutras. In whatever way I could understand, in the last 50, 60 years, I have been studying this from my age of 14. So you can imagine how many days have passed, and whatever little I know, I'm telling frankly, I don't know. And whatever little I could understand, I am going to share with you, and that too because of the grace of the Gurus. And I start with Namo Brahmadi Vyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsa Rishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhya. So we start with prostrating to all our Gurus, and I'll show you some of the photographs of our Gurus which are there in my book on Yogic Sutras. And I was fortunate enough to learn yoga in Ramakrishna Math in 1964 from my teacher Dikshitulu, who learned from Dhirendra Brahmachari, who learned from Maharishi Kartikeya. So you can see Maharishi Kartikeya this side here, and Dhirendra Brahmachari here. Maharishi Kartikeya lived for 350 years in Himalayas. Dhirendra Brahmachari lived about 85 years and died in an accident. Maharishi Kartikeya left his body at his will like Bhishmacharya, and he announced in advance. And then Dikshitulu is here. He is my teacher. Mother was my teacher before him. She taught me yoga. And Dikshitulu, Suri Raghav Dikshitulu, very famous yoga teacher. He taught yoga to more than 15 lakh people. And here is a photograph of, this is myself and Dhirendra Brahmachari, and this is Dikshitulu. This is in 1981 at Hyderabad airport. So, apart from this, I also have two other lineages. One is the Bihar School of Yoga, Swami Satchanand Saraswati in Mongir. We went to Mongir with Dikshitulu and myself. And whatever I learned in practice of yoga. So this is a photograph of one of my batches in Gandhi Jam. Many batches were conducted. This is a batch in 1981 period. And this is Swami Shilananda Bharati, who is the third in line of Duniwala Samsthan of Khandwa. So I have learned a lot from these Gurus, both mostly practice and also theory, because he has got 4 different dimensions. The practical dimension, we all are familiar, the theoretical dimension, the philosophical dimension, and the spiritual dimension. So all the 4 dimensions, I learned to some extent here and there from these Gurus, and from Swami Shilananda Bharati, who was a Siddha Purusha. He had certain siddhis, and his Gurus like Bade Duniwala, Chote Duniwala were Mahasiddhas. Like Bade Duniwala was able to perform Parakaya Pravesh. He was Mahasiddha, and he is known to be avatar of Rudra avatar of Shiva. That is in Ujjain. And Khandwa is very close to Ujjain, next to Omkareshwar. Omkareshwar has got 2 Jyotirlingas. Ujjain has got one very major centers of Hinduism. I went there recently. I was supposed to become a monk in the lineage, but my mother stopped it. So I became a grihastha upon the request of my pressure of my mother, and that's how I am here in front of you. Otherwise, I would have also been in the sannyasa order, which my Swamiji prepared the ground for it, and he was going to put me underground for samadhi for several days after becoming a monk sannyasa. That was stopped by my mother, because she objected to. Without the permission of the mother, they will not give sannyas. Without sannyas, samadhi is not allowed in that particular protocol. So, but he taught me enough to reach that stage. So I retired at that stage, but that itself is not there anywhere. There was nobody comparable to our Swami Shilananda Bharati in the whole world in the field of higher yoga. And wherever I reached and wherever I left, and not many were there, not really many were there at that point of time, known to us. There may be people in Himalayas and there, but as far as the open society is concerned, they're not, all the other yoga teachers were kind of not even that level. So that way I was fortunate to have been trained. And Swami Shilananda Bharati, after asking me to stop all that, he still continued being in contact with me. He even blessed my son when my son was born. And I used to meet him regularly, and he used to tell me many things in the philosophical, spiritual, and theoretical dimensions of yoga. Like, for example, you ask any yoga teacher, what is prana? Define prana. Nobody will be able to define. There was only Swami Shilananda Bharati who told me. But prana is the force which is generated due to the conjunction. That is conjunction, samyoga, of Agni and Vayu. This nobody knows. Nobody will tell. No yoga teacher. There are a lot of yoga teachers who think they are teaching a lot, but they are showing asanas. Even the word dharma yoga is used by somebody to show a particular set of classes on yoga asanas. They don't know anything. Most of the yoga teachers, they don't know Yoga Sutras or Yoga Darshana, or they may not even know Sanskrit properly. They will be simply doing yogasanas, the physical level, and they will teach others and they will make money and all that. And most of the yoga teachers are not accomplished in other fields. Some people may be there, but mostly 90% or above are just limited to yoga field, and they are not having any high qualifications or high positions, or they are not authors of textbooks on any other subject, nothing else. So I was active in 4 different directions. My office work, I spent 28 years in government of India. I became director general and retired. Parallelly, I was writing textbooks on computer science. And third dimension was yoga. I was operating Yoga Vidyapit. I was giving yoga classes. I taught yoga to about 1 lakh people, including many of the IAS officers and ministers and so on. And the fourth is the Vedas and Shastras research. I wrote 2 books, The Physics of Vaisishka and the Dharma Yoga, as a common framework for all religions and science, with a research publication. So this kind of 4 different dimensions I was able to operate simultaneously. The other day, when I gave a lecture at BVRIT case code, they asked me, how did you get, I asked, when questions were invited, the only question was, how did you get time to do all these things? Then I told him, you all have 24 hours, but I have 48 hours. So after listening this, that questioner stopped asking any further questions. But some others asked, how do you have 48 hours? I'll leave it to you to answer that question. How I got 48 hours compared to 24 hours for all. So I could do all the 4 different activities, primarily because of the yoga, influence of yoga under, so to say, the results of the thing which we get from yoga practice. Anyway, coming back to the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, I told all these things because the practical dimension is very much critical. Without that, yoga has no meaning. Yoga is not a theoretical subject like Vedanta or Sankhya or Nyaya. It is a practical subject. So, if you, like swimming, if you say that you give a PowerPoint presentation on swimming, you write a big book, you cannot swim. Even if you wrote a book or if you read 100 books, you cannot swim unless you practice swimming. Similarly, yoga, unless you practice asanas, pranayama, kriyas, and all these things, nothing will be done. Simply talking theory about it, like talking about swimming, it doesn't help. Talking about cooking without cooking. So this is a practical science, and Patanjali is very clear about it right from the beginning. So let us now start the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. So the first sutra is Atha Yoga Anushasan. Now we shall define discipline yoga, system of yoga. So similarly, Patanjali, Patanjali, they say Shabda Anushasan, and others will say Athato Brahma Jijnasa. Will now inquire into the nature of Brahma, and somebody will say will inquire into the nature of Dharma. Tato Dharma Jijnasa. So they will define what is that they are trying to do. So here he says Yoga and Shastra. This is a disciplining or definition. Disciplining definition. Defining yoga. That is the first atha, Yoga and Shastra. Then the first sutra is Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yoga means arresting all the chitta. Now when you say chitta, what is chitta? In Vedanta we have mana, buddhi, ahankara, chitta, different antakaranas. In yoga only chitta is. They are not distinguishing manas, buddhi, ahankara, all that separately. Total thing is chitta there. In yoga darshan. So only in Vedanta darshana those distinctions came. And Vedanta darshana is obviously of a much later period than yoga darshan. So the yoga chitta vritti nirodha, that is arresting the chitta active vrittis is yoga. So what happens if you arrest sada drashtu swarupe? If you arrest all the chitta vrittis, then and only then you are in your own true nature, swarupa. Otherwise, what happens? Vritti sarupyamita. If you are not with yourself, then you are identifying with the chitta vrittis. If you are not at home, then you are doing something outside. So when you are driving a car, you are a car driver. When you are in the office, you are in the particular role which you are playing in the office. Or you go to the supermarket, you are a customer. So different roles you are playing. When you are not at home, the same way, when you are not in yourself, you will start assuming you are this, you are that, you are a driver, you are a customer, you are an officer, you are this, you are that. Vritti sarupyam, itaratra. I mean, similar to the activity which you are doing, you are identifying yourself with it. So only in the state of yoga, which is nirodha of chitta vrittis, you are in yourself. So simple, these three sutras are fundamental. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha, tada drashtu swarupe avasthanam, vritti sarupyam. So let us go a little more deeper into these three sutras. If all the chitta vrittis are stopped, then you are in yourself. What is that yourself? No, he is not told what it is. Your swarupa, your own true nature. You are in your own true nature. Swarupa. You are in swarupa nishtha. Otherwise, you are identifying with the chitta vritti, which are not you. You are identifying with body. You are identifying with your roles, responsibilities, designations, address, phone number, Aadhaar number, PAN number, and so on. So these are all only your chitta vrittis. And also in the dream, you are identifying with so many things, which is not true. They're all fake identities. So, tada drashtu swarupya. Only when the chitta vrittis are completely arrested, you are in your own true nature. What is the true nature? Not defined. Patanjali didn't tell. Swarupa means what? He made a swarupa, never defined. But the Upanishads have defined Ayam Atma Brahma. This self, that is yourself, is actually Brahman, God, Supreme Being. But you don't know, you are not aware of it, you don't know who you are. You are assuming your identity with the chitta vrittis. So it's a very profound statement. If you stop the chitta vrittis, whatever is the truth, which is about yourself, you will come to know. You will realize, because you will be in yourself, established in yourself. So that truth is I am Atma Brahma, Tattvamasi, which is also expressed as others. You are actually Brahman, but it's not. I am linking to Vedanta. That is not mentioned in the Yoga. But on my own, I am linking to the Advaita Vedanta. So now, chitta vrittis means what? Vritaya, Panchadaya, Krishta. There are 5 types, both simple and complex. So simple means Pratyaksha Anumana Agama Pramanani. Pratyaksha Anumana, that is Agama 3 are the Pramana. Pramana, Viparya, Vikalpa, Nidra, Smutaya. So the Pancha Chitta Vrittaya, Kim Pratyaksha, that is Pramana, Viparya, Vikalpa, Nidra, and Smutaya. So Pramana means Pratyaksha Anumana Agama Pramanani. Valid knowledge, provable knowledge, standard knowledge. Standard acquisition of knowledge, state of mind, where there is a standard process of acquiring knowledge, that is pramana. And those pramanas are Pratyaksha, Anumana, and Agama. Only 3 are recognized in the Yoga Sutras, in Yoga Darshana. Whereas in Nyaya Darshana, Anumana is also there. Upamana, after Anumana, Upamana is also there. And then we have Ardhapati also in Mimamsa. Let us not get into all that. Here in Yoga Sutra, only 3 are. Pratyaksha, Anumana, and Agama. Agama means it has come. Come means Veda has come to us. So that is Shabda Prabhu. So both are same. Agama, Shabda, both are same. It is referential knowledge. So Pratyaksha is obviously what you observe through your eyes, through your nose or ears or touch, or the Panchendriyas. Pratyaksha. Seeing is believing. That kind. And Anumana is of those subjects which cannot be concluded by Pratyaksha. Anumana will be deployed. Like moon. Pratyaksha to the eyes, moon is of papad size. But Anumana, when you apply, it turns out to be a huge, satellite or subplanet. Sun also looks like only this much shape, but Sun is a huge world by itself. So the entire domain of science is based upon Anumana. Atom nobody has seen physically with eyes, not even in the microscope. Electrons nobody saw. At least atoms you can get some kind of evidence pictorially from the electron microscope. But electrons nobody can see till today. You can only infer their presence. It is a standard example is when there is smoke coming from a distant mountain, then you presume the fire must be there. Because without the fire, smoke. So the Anumana Pramana is going back to the source of the symptom which you see. And the third is Agama or Shabda Pramana, when both Pratyaksha and Anumana fail, or on subjects where Pratyaksha and Anumana cannot operate. Because there is a statement on Vedasya Vedata. Vedata of Veda comes, Agama comes, because it addresses topics and questions and subjects which cannot be addressed by Pratyaksha and Anumana. So, like, what happens after death? Does a God exist? Or what is the soul? How is the soul? Your soul, my soul. You can either observe physically, nor you can infer based on physical observation. So you have to go to the differential. Shabda Pramana. Now these three Brahmanas are accepted in the Yoga Darshana. And what is the next Chittavritti? Viparyayo Mithya Jnana Vatadrupa. Viparya is next. That is, illusory projection, like mirage, water mirage, silver in, chips, mother of pearls, shells. The silver is not there. It looks like silver, but it's not silver. So we know very well how illusory things are shown to us in this world, all fakery going on. And Shabda Jnana Arupati was Shunyo Vikalpa. Then another thing is Vikalpa, possibly a postulate or hypothesis where there is some kind of signal or input, but you cannot see the actual object. Shabda Jnana Anupati Vastu Shunya. You cannot reach the Vastu, but you have to depend upon the signal which you get out of this. If you are able to hear some sound somewhere, then you start guessing what could it be. You cannot see the actual object. So that is another state of mind. He has gone exhaustively on possible states. Probable knowledge, Pratyaksha, Pramana, and Pratyaksha and Anumana and Shabda Pramana being used is Pramana, is Chittavritti. Then you have Viparya, which is illusory knowledge projected. And third is Vikalpa, alternative and kind of a possibility, hypothesis kind of thing. And then finally, Nidra. Nidra, nothing is there. Abhava Prachaya Lamana Vittir Nidra. Nidra is also considered as a state of mind in the Yoga Sutras, but Nidra is considered as an avastha in Mandukya Upanishad. So Prajna avastha in the Nidra, deep sleep, Sushupti, Prajna or state of the self. So now here the Nidra is considered as a Chittavritti, where there is no thought, no existence of any kind. Abhava Prachaya Lamana Vittir Nidra. Anubhuta Vishaya Sampramota Smriti. Finally, memory Smriti is nothing but recalling, remembering whatever has been previously experienced. So, people say when you take a bath, you say Ganga, Ganga, Ganga 100 times. Why? Because you're remembering Ganga. The Ganga Snanam which you have done last. So when you are doing Snanam now, the same impact may come into your mind. Same experience may be recalled. Anubhuta Vishaya, Sampramotaha Smriti. We all know what is memory. So these are the 5 Chittavrittis, Pramana, Viparya, Vikalpa, Nidra, Smriti. So how do we arrest these Chittavrittis? Because he gave his own model of an exhaustive process of Chittavrittis, exhaustive analysis and depiction of Chittavrittis. So how do you stop these Chittavrittis? Abhyasa Vairagya Tan. Abhyasa and Vairagya are the two factors. Even in the Bhagavad Gita 6th chapter, same thing is Abhyasena tu Kaunteya, Vairagyena cha Gripyate. So, by Abhyasa and Vairagya combination, Chittavritis can be achieved. So, what is Abhyasa? Tatra sthito yatno Abhyasa. A concerted effort, full-fledged concerted effort put in that direction is Abhyasa. Satu Dirghakala Nairantarya Satkara Sevito Drudabhumi. Even that Abhyasa, when it is practiced for a long time, uninterruptedly, then it will become a strong foundation of Abhyasa. Abhyasa Surair Anubhuyamana Samstambhita Shvasamana Prachara Sajrimhate Kevala. The whole thing is Abhyasa. Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena Chetasa Nanyagamina Paramam Purusham Divyam Upaiti Parth Anuchintaya. 8th chapter. Abhyasa is the main. Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena. So continuous practice, effort towards the reaching goal, and that too long time without breaks. Tatu Dirghakala Nairantarya Satkara Sevito Drudabhumi. Then we have the Vairagya. What is Vairagya? Drishta Anusravika Vishaya Vitrushnasya Vashikaratanya Vairagya. Vairagya means dispassion, detachment, not having any interest. Treating anything and everything on this earth equal to the excretion of a crow, Kakavishta, equal to Kakavishta. Even the greatest power, position, money, like gold and mud are equal. Samaloshtashmakancha. Ramkrishna was throwing gold, one piece of gold, big one, and one piece of stone, mud, both together into the Ganga river. Equal treatment. But a person who has Vairagya, he is obviously not going to be lured, not going to be dependent, not going to be enslaved, not going to be running after anything. So running after anything, having a desire on anything will catch you, make you caught up in the bondage. So Vairagya is very fundamental. Tat param purushakshater gunavai. Drishta anusravika. Not only things about which you know, which you have seen, but even which you heard, which you have not seen. Like, we have heard that there is a Swarga, and in that Swarga we will get some Apsarsa will come and dance, like that, which you have not seen. But even that, desire for that also. So you have to give up. Drishta Anusravika Vishaya Vitrushnasya, extreme craving, Vashikara, conquest of such Krishna, of Vishayas, of both Drishta and Anusravika is Vairagya. It's very clear, without Vairagya you will never reach anywhere. And even in the case of Vedanta Krishna, Viveka, Vairagya both are given great importance. And Tapasya and the Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti, which are mentioned there, they will all fall in line one way or the other with the Avadarshana also. Another configuration, another way of doing the same thing in a different framework. So, Vyasa, Vairagya, all the practice of Vyasa of yoga is Tapasya only. Tapaswadhyaya Niratam. So, that is the definition of all munis, all rishis. Tapasya is the first. What is Tapasya? Nothing but Abhyasa. Abhyasa of what? Chittavritti Nirodha. Abhyasa of yoga. So, Abhyasa Vairagya Abhyam Tan Nirodha Tatra Sthito Yatno Abhyasa Tadu Dirgha Karanairantarya Satkara Sevito Drudhabhumihi Drishta Anusravika Vishaya Vitrushnasya Vashikara Sanya Vairagyam Tat Param Purushakshate Gunavai Krishnyam. So with Vairagya you can reach the highest stage. Vivekakhyati. Vivekakhyate. Yes, another sutra later he has said, until the Viveka Akshati comes, the enlightenment will never come. So Viveka and Vairagya both are mentioned in the Vedanta Darshana. I am continuously referring with Vedanta Darshana. I already finished referring to Sankhya. So we can say yoga is in between Vedanta and Sankhya. So it gives a fundamental requirement. In fact, all the rishis, all the munis, all the personalities in Sanatana Dharma, they have performed tapasya. You can see anybody. And what is that tapasya? That is nothing but yoga abhyasa. Either pranayama, or pratyahara, or dharana, or dhyana, or samadhi. They'll be sitting in samadhi. You can see Shiva sitting in samadhi. You can see Buddha sitting in samadhi. You can see Jain Tirthankara sitting in Samadhi. You can see all Devatas in sitting in Samadhi. So it is a common sense thing for them. It's a very fundamental, practical requirement. It is like taking bath. Everybody practice yoga of different levels. Even Pandavas practiced various types. It is understood. It's part and parcel of Hindu culture. Even in Sanjavandana, yoga is embedded. Pranayama is there, Dhyana is there. You take any upasana, any Devata upasana, any ritual, Pranayama will be there, Dhyana will be there, Dharana will be there. And Samadhi is deep Dhyana or absorbed into it. We will come to that a little later. So, the tapasya or whatever legends we have been listening are nothing but yoga. So he has given a formal definition of what is yoga, what is vyasa, what is vairagya, and what will you get out of it. So having gotten it, that is, you have got tat param purushakhyatir gunavaitrishyam. Then after that, what is that? What is sutra after that? I want you to carry the Yoga Sutras and follow up in all these sessions. If you are not brought today, you bring it next time, go to Ramakrishna Mat and get these sutras and follow what I am telling you. Now he is going to explain about the asamprajnata samadhi and samprajnata samadhi. This is Samadhi Pada, the first chapter, out of the 4 chapters of the Yoga Sutras. We have the first chapter, which is called Samadhi Pada. And Vitarka Vichara, Ananda Asmita Anugamat Samprajnata. So Samprajnata Samadhi, Asamprajnata Samadhi, 2 types of Samadhi. Samprajnata is definitely higher. And Samprajnata has many categories. That is Vitarka, Vichara, Ananda, Asmita, Rupa, Arupa, Anugama. So Vitarka means there is an analysis. Tarka is there. Like what we do normally when we talk or when we give a lecture or when we read a book or when we are deliberating in ourselves or with others, we'll do a vitarka. Yes and no, yes and no, yes, no, all this kind of a vitarka, you will be deeply absorbed in it. Vichara is thought process, not tarka, but only thoughts. So it is subtler than vitarka. That is vichara, savichara, and nirvichara samadhi. Ananda is even subtler. Like, Ananda means absolute pure bliss without any vichara, vitarka, and so on. Like small babies, like my granddaughter who is about 9 months, she can express, she can experience and convey to us pure bliss, Ananda. Asmita is pure self-ego, the basic ego. So Samprajnata Samadhi, वितर्क विचार आनंद अस्मिता नामक स्वरूपों की संबंधों में जो चित्त की वृत्तियों का निरोध है वह संप्रज्ञा समाधि कहलाता है. So in these processes of samadhi, whatever processes are happening in the chitta vrittis, that is called samprajnat samadhi. आनंद के अस्मिता के संबंध होने वाली समाधि रूप अस्मिता अनुगत संप्रज्ञात समाधि. So the samprajnat samadhi is described and then he will be going further. Of course, many pages are there. You can read the Patanjali Yoga Darshana book in Hindi, the Gita Press. I am not going to read every sentence there. Virama prachaya adhyas purna samskaraseshu anya. Anya is samprajnat samadhi. Virama prachaya adhyas purvaha. That is सब वृत्तियों के निरोध का कारण जो पर वैराग्य है उसके पुनः पुनः अनुष्ठात्मक अभ्यास से जो उसके संस्कार शेष रह जाते हैं वो असंप्रज्ञात समाधि is higher level where all the chitta vrittis having been arrested सर्व वृत्तियों के निरोध का कारण जो पर वैराग्य है already in higher vairagya state and uskis and yogis who are into that state. They are not getting down into the samprajnata level of vitarka, vichara, and they are at a higher stage. Of course, these subjects are not easy to understand because you have to experience. First of all, you have not an experience samadhi, then you cannot experience anything. Videha, aprachayo, videha, pratiklayana. So there are two types of people, videhas and prakitulayas. Videha और prakitulaya उनके जन्म से ही असम प्रज्ञा समाधि के प्रतीत होते हैं. By birth, they are already in asam prajna samadhi. By Raman Maharshi type of people, or even people like Sukha, from birth itself, on their own, naturally, they are in asam prajna samadhi. Avaprachayo videha prakitulayana. Two types of people, videhas and prakitulayas. Janaka was known as videha, and that's why Janaki is known as Vaidehi. And prakitulayas are different. What about others who are not by birth? They will be having these characteristics. Shraddha, Virya, Smriti, Samadhi, Prajna, Purvaka, Itaresham. Others will be manifesting to us their extraordinary Shraddha, Virya, Smriti, Samadhi, Prajna. Among those who are not by birth reaching that stage, then different types of people who reach these stages. Tivra Samveganam Asana. Those who are going very fast, rapid, like Shukha Maharshi himself, they will reach very fast. Ramakrishnaparam sir had a guru by name Totapuri, and he used to teach him various purification process. So when he asked how many times I have to do this purification, yoga to tantra and so on, he said there is a copper vessel. It will be getting corrupted. So you have to wash every day. Then he asked a question: what if it's a golden vessel? He has no answer. So Ramakrishna himself was a golden vessel. He already had this. So he reached that stage directly, without every day struggling like his own guru did. Veda Samskruti Samiti. Then of course we have our friends who are average, medium, Mrudu, Madhya, Matra, Visheshta. And then alternatively, Samadhi can be reached by Ishvara Pranidhana. Ishvara Pranidhana Adva, 23rd Sutra. Also alternatively by Ishvara Pranidhana. That means surrender to Ishvara, giving up all attachments to all actions and expecting the desire to be, expecting the results to be handed over to Ishvara only. Just I will take a small break. I will just come back. So Ishvara Pranidhana Dva, that is either by Ishvara Pranidhana, which is the entire Bhakti Yoga, is covered in Ishvara Pranidhana. So as you know, in the 12th chapter in Bhakti Yoga in Bhagavad Gita, he told clearly, Yetu Sarvani Karmani Mai Sanyasya Matparaha Ananyena eva Yogena Mam Dhayando Vasate Tesham Aham Samuttakta Mrityu Samsara Sagarat Bhavami Nachirat Parta Mai Aveshita Chetatsam Mayev Manasat Swamai Buddhim Nivesha Nivasishyasi Mayev Ata Utpam Na Samshaya Atha Chittam Samadhatum Na Shaknoshi Maistiram Abhyasa Yogena Tato Mamichha. So friends, you can see a merger of Bhakti and Yoga here. Ishvara Pranidhana Adva. So the Ishvara is defined immediately next. Klesha Karma Vipakashai Raparamushta. Purusha Vishesha Ishvara. A personality who is beyond kleshas, miseries, pains, karma, karma vipaka, karma ashaya, and is transcendent to the karma and its effects. He is a special personality called Ishvara. Now, this definition of Ishvara is valid in Bhakti Yoga on one side and also valid in other religions. They all accept Ishvara. Even Christianity, Islam, though they distorted it and made it very diluted and corrupted, originally it is the same Ishvara. And so we may ask a question, what is Brahman, what is Ishvara? I would consider Ishvara as a subset, special case of Brahman, and Ishtadevata is a special case of Ishvara. So you can ye yatha mam prabhajyante tam stateva vajamyaham mama vartman vartante manushya partha sarvashah. The personality, supreme personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, given in the Bhagavad Gita, is Ishvara. He has told it very clearly, I am Ishvara. So that Ishvara definition, Sarvasya chaham hrudi sannivishto matta smriti jnanam apohanancha. And he has told Ishvara sarvabhutanam hrudeshe pardhatishti. Ramayam sarvabhutani yantra rudhani. So Ishvara is defined formally here. Sapurvesham api guru kalena anavachhedat. So Ishvara is the guru, not only for us, but he is also the guru of the ancient people. Tatra niratishayam sarvajna bijam. Why? Because he is having sarvajnatva. Sarvajna bijam, the root of sarvajnatva, all-knowingness. Niratishayam sarvajna bijam. सर्वज्ञता का बीज अतिशय बढ़ती अतिशय रहित है. निरतिशयम सर्वज्ञ बीजम. And Sapurvesham api guru kale anavachhedat. And in Rigveda also we have this mantra Sapurve bhi vishabhi agnihi purve bhi vishabhi yid. That is, he was worshipped even by Purva Rishis, our ancestors, our great gurus of the past. And what is the indication of that Ishvara? Tasya vachaka pranavaha. Pranava, Om, is the representation, symbol, indication, name of Ishvara. And what is Om in Vedanta? Om ityekaksham Brahma. Even in the Bhagavad Gita, Om ityekaksham Brahma. Vyaharan ma manusmaran. Ya prayati tyajam deham sayati paramam gatim. He who leaves this body chanting Om, one single sound, merging himself into Brahma, will not be born again. He will reach highest. Simple. Prayana kale manasachalena buddhayukto yogavalena cheva bhruvormadhye pranamavesha samyak satam param purusham upayati divyam. So the whole process of leaving the body, Omkaram, absorption, Kapala Moksham is described in the 8th chapter. So, Om ityekaksham Brahma, Yaharan ma manusmaran, ya prayati tyajam deham, sayati paramam. So that much is the greatest importance and power of Om, Pranava. Pranava sarva vedeshu, in all the Vedas, I am Pranava. So the Om ityekaksham Brahma tasya vachaka pranavaha tajapastadapavanam tata pratyakchetanadhigamokyantaraya bhavasya. So to repeat Om, tajapaha tadardhabhavanam, to go on contemplating on the meaning of Om as an indication of Ishvara or Brahman is to be done, to be practiced. That's why in all our yoga sessions we chant Om 3 times minimum, even up to 10 times. So Om has got more than 100 different meanings. Now I'll show you a diagram from this book on what is Om. Here it is showing Ma, comprising of Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, as well as Vaishvasa, Taijasa, Prajnasthiti, and also Agni, Vayu, Aditya, and also Virat, Hiranyagarbha, and Ishvara with Om. So more than 100 meanings exist. We have given only a few meanings here. You can study as much as you want in this book also, in many other books also. So by repeating Om and chanting Om again and again, and by contemplating on the meaning of Om, you can overcome various antarayas. Vyadhi. What are the antarayas? Antarayas are obstructions. Vyadhi, first disease. That means you can get healthy. Dhyana, samshaya, alasya, avirati, laziness, doubtingness. Kranti, darshanalabdha, bhumikatvani, avasthitattvani, anavasthitatvani, with chitta vikshepas te antara. All antarayas based on chitta vikshepa, mind going helter-skelter, chitta vikshepa, and resulting in all these obstructions. Yadhisthana, samshaya, alasya, avirati, bhranti, darshana, shabda, bhumikatvan, avasthitatvan, chitta vikshepa, te antaraya. And what are their associated symptoms? Dukkha, daurmanasya, angamedesva, shasa prasvasa vikshepa, sahabhuvaha, shivering, misery, sorrow, mental debility, and disturbed breath. All these are associated symptoms born out of the antarayas, which are major antarayas, vyadhi, etc. Tat prastesardhamekatatvabhyasa, tat pratishedardhamekatatvabhyasa. So to overcome all these antarayas, he already told Om meditation. He is telling ekatatvabhyasa, one-pointedness. That is concentration, meditation with Om or with other objects. So Maitri Karuna Mudito Pakshanam Sukha Punya Punyavishyanam Bhavanata Chitta Prasadram. How to get peace of mind? By following this principle. Maitri Karuna Mudito Pakshanam Sukha Punya Punyavishyanam. If there is a Sukha, you show Maitri. If there is Dukkha, you show Karuna. If there is Punya, you show Mudita. If there is Papa or Apunya, you can show only like Upeksha. By doing this, you will get peace of mind. For example, the last point, showing Upeksha on a bad activity. Suppose somebody is abusing somebody and fighting. Suppose you go and try to meddle. That fellow will abuse you and hit you also. So you should ignore and allow the police to handle that. So when somebody is doing a good activity, Punya Karma, you should go and encourage. You should go and contribute. And if somebody is happy, enjoying some birthday party, you show friendship. If somebody is suffering some problem, you show compassion. So Maitri Karuna Mudito Pakshanam Sukha Punya Punyavishyanam Bhavanatas Chitta Prasadanam. And what are the other means to get Chitta Prasadanam? Prachardhana Vidharana Bhyamba Pranasya, by Pranayama, Puraka Rejaka Kumpaka, Prachardhana Vidharana Bhyamba Pranasya. And what are the other methods? Pranayama is Prana Upasana. It is Prana Devata Upasana. It is practical. I've gone through for many years from our gurus, and we have the Kundalini, which is a focused, coherent form of prana, higher level, and the chakras through which the Kundalini process. All this is given in this book. You can read in detail. We cannot go in detail now. Vishayavativa pravritrutpanna manasasthiti nibandhini Vishobhava Jyotishmati. We can also do meditation on Jyoti. It is free from all sorrows. Swapna Nidra Jnana Lambanam Va. You can also meditate upon what experience you had in your dream. You may have Siddha Darshanam or you may have Deva Darshanam. Vitaraga Vishayam Va Chittam. You can also meditate on a personality who is free from all attachments, like Shiva. Shiva, is sitting in Samadhi. You are not to meditate on Shiva. Or you meditate on Buddha or Ramakrishna Paramhansa or Vivekananda or Ramanama. These are all Vitaragas. Vitaraga Vishayam Va Chittam. Swapna Nidra Jnana Lambanam Va. Paramanu Paramahat Paramahatvantosya Vashikaraha. A person who has got full control over his mind will get control over anything and everything. That's why Swami Vivekananda said, all power is within you, you can do anything and everything. Paramanu Paramahatvanto Asya Vashikaraha. From the Paramanu up to Paramahat, you will have complete conquest. Like a crystal, when it is kept on a red surface, it looks like red. When it is kept on green, it looks like green. So, in the same way, pure consciousness that is called conditioning. Tatra Shabda Artha Jnana Vikalpai Sankirna Savitarka Samapatti. So, Shabda Artha Jnana, the signal, the means or medium, and the final knowledge. So, these three things are at different levels. Savitarka Samadhi, Shruti Parashuddho, Swarupa Shunyeva, Ardhamasa Nirbhasa, Nirvitarka. In Nirvitarka Samadhi, these things are not existing physically separate. They are in a subtle abstract state. Etayeva Savitara Nirvichara cha Sukshma Vishaya Vyakhyata. As we already discussed, Savitarka is gross level, Savichara or Nirvichara is subtle level. Sukshma Vishayatvam Chalinga Paryavasanam. Sabija Samadhi. So beyond all this, beyond the Sukshma, there is only a bija. He has already practiced so much, he has become so advanced. He is near to moksha, but he has got a bija. Sabija Samadhi. Tasyapi Nirodhe Sarva Nirvichara Visharatya Adhyatma Prasada. Even the Nirvichara Samadhi, that is without any vicharas, there is a samadhi that will give you adhyatma prasada, the pleasant experience, a state of mind of spirituality. Ritam bhara tatra prajna. The highest samadhi state is full of prajna, ritam, satyam, ritam. These are the two fundamental. Ritam is actually later became dharma in Sanskrit language. Originally in the Veda only ritam was, dharma was. Satyam was there, ritam was. Satyam, ritam. So ritam bhara tatra prajna. The prajna, which is reached in the samadhi beyond nirvichara, is ritam bhara, is transcendental. It is revealed knowledge. All the rishis got that ritam bhara prajna in their samadhi when they delivered the Veda mantras. Kritanumana prajnabhyam anvishya visesha Satya samskaro anya samskara nibandhini tasyapi nirodhe sarva nirodha anirbija samadhi. So at that level also, Ritambhara prajna level also, there is some kind of bija, sabija samadhi. And even if that is given up, conquered, nirbija samadhi, which is total moksha. So this is a completion of the chapter 1. And I finished today's main lecture. Of course, I have glossed over a few advanced sutras. It is not possible to cover in depth. So let us stop here and open up for the practice session. Hello.
ధన్యవాదములండి. Thank you for the lecture today. Shall we go for a question answer session now? Anybody?
What is the difference between moksha and kaivalya? Both are same. Moksha, kaivalya, or so many other words are also there. Apavarga, nirvana, so many equivalent words are. Okay, next question.
If anybody wants to ask direct questions, we can unmute and I'll allow you to unmute or raise your hand. Okay. You can unmute and ask questions.
ప్రభు గారు నమస్కారం. సో ఈ ఈ దర్శనాలన్నీ కూడా దే రూటెడ్ ఫ్రమ్ వేద కదా, ప్రమాణం వేద ప్రమాణమే కదా. ఇప్పుడు ఈ పతంజలి యోగ శాస్త్రాలకి వేదాల్లో ఏ సెక్షన్, వాట్ ఈస్ సెక్షన్ వేదస్ దట్ ఈస్ రెస్పాన్సిబుల్ ఫర్ రిలీజింగ్ ది వేద సూత్రాస్? Am I clear, sir? Hari Om, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. Your question.
Yeah. So,
My question is,
yeah,
in which part of Veda is root for this Patanjali Yoga
See,
Shastras?
no, what you have to understand clearly. I got your point. Let me ask. So, Veda means knowledge. Veda. Veda. Hello?
There is disturbance in your
Hello?
voice. We could not understand.
No, that I'm answering that. You listen carefully. It is not single part, many places. So, Veda is a vast ocean of knowledge. All types of
thing, his bandwidth is low. That is causing problem.
Yeah. No.
Is what-
Any Anvaka,
Yes, sir.
any Anvaka,
Down. They are reflected in the Upanishads also, in the Shveta Upanishad, in Katha Upanishad, and there are about 20 Yoga Upanishads. Okay?
Upanishads, okay. Upanishads, from Upanishads it has come. Okay, that we should like that. Okay, sir, thank you.
Okay, sir.
Also has mantras.
Yeah, those Upanishads we have to take. Those Upanishads we have to take as Pramana for that.
No, I can't hear your voice. Let us close now.
Those Upanishads we have to take as Pramana, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Upanishads are having the same content, and also Bhagavad Gita, of course, has the content, but in the Veda mantras also, there are contents. Yunjate manauta yunjate diyo.
Which kanda is that? Which kanda?
So, yuj dhatu is used extensively in the Veda, Yajurveda itself. Extensively it is used.
Which
And
means yoga.
Okay, that's it.
Which means yoga, na?
Yuj is the root.
Yuj is root. Okay.
Yuj is the root of the word yoga. Yoga is a noun.
Okay.
Yuj is the dhatu.
So that is from yoga. Ayurveda. That is from Ayurveda, you mean. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Ayurveda, there are mantras with yuj. Yunjate. Yunjate manauta yunjate dhiyo. Our minds, our intellects, dhiya, are joined with the Supreme Being. Yunjate manauta yunjate dhiyo. Vipra viprasya brihataha vipaschitaha. The Vipras join their minds and intellects with Brihat Brahman, Ishvara. That meditation process has been described. And many Upanishads refer to the yoga practices. Not one. More than 20 Upanishads refer. Okay, then. Bye.
Okay. Thanks, Andy. Dhanyavadam. Okay, he has switched off now. We'll go for Pradhana. After that, then if any discussion is there, we will go. Okay, Govindaraj garu.
Yeah. Swasti prajabhyah paripaalayantam nyayena margena mahishaah gobrahmanebhyah shubhamastu nityam loka samastah sukhino bhavantu काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितो ब्राह्मणः सन्तु निर्भयाः अपुत्राः पुत्रिणः सन्तु पुत्रिणः सन्तु पौत्रिणः अधनाः सदनाः सन्तु जीवन्तु शरदां शतम् सत्यं वद धर्मं चर स्वाध्यायान्मा प्रमदः सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सर्वे जनाः सुखिनो भवन्तु स्वस्ति
ధన్యవాదములండి గోవిందరాజు గారు. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్. Now we'll go for national anthem, and then if any discussion is there, we will proceed. Prakash garu,
Yes, sir.
can you
Yes,
lead?
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल वंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गादा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय हिंद
जय हिंद, जय हिंद, जय हिंद, जय श्री राम, जय श्री राम.
जय श्री राम जय श्री राम
Jai Hind. Okay.
सर्वेभ्यः नमस्कारः श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः